Investors.
Oh, I was just going to come to the Netflix numbers.
Go for it.
Which are just crossing, and just a very first look at where we stand at the moment, which is a very slight beat on the EPS line and the subscriber line, and in line on the revenue. 7.48 billion was the revenue print that came in. That was in line with consensus estimates and also in line with the guidance that they provided a quarter ago. In terms of paid net additions, that's slightly ahead of forecast. That came in at 4.4 billion. The forecast is for 3.8. That brings the total paid memberships to 213.6 million, a fraction ahead of forecast. 213 million was the forecast. The bottom line coming in at $3.19 per share of diluted EPS, ahead of a guide of about 255, and that's the real item where there's a decent beat and leading to the shares to jump about 2% or so. Need to dive into the numbers a little bit more detail to get some of the color as to why we got that bottom line beat. Maybe Julia Boston has it for us. Julia.
Yeah, I think the key thing to note here, Wilf, is the guidance. This is a company that has not guided to this many new subscriber additions in many years. It's been since 2019 that the company has guided to more than 7.6 million paid net adds. So to guide for the addition of 8.5 million subscribers in the fourth quarter, that is in line with expectations, but it is notable that it's that high. So I just want to stress the importance of that Q4 forecast for paid net additions, and also the fact that the subscriber additions not only came in higher than the 3.5 million that the company forecast, but also the 3.8 million that analysts have been forecasting for Q3 additions. I think that's key. I just want to point out something that's in this letter to shareholders here. They say that there's no better example of, and they're speaking about the strength of their content, than Squid Game, a unique Korean story that first captured the zeitgeist in Korea, then globally. Released on September 17th, it has become our biggest TV show ever, mind-boggling. 142 million member households globally have chosen to watch the title in its first 4 weeks. So that's up notably from, I believe, the last number they issued on Squid Game was 111 million. So big gains there. The other thing I'm going to note here is they say that for the second consecutive quarter, the APAC region was the largest contributor to membership growth. It does seem like the U.S. continues to be a pretty saturated market, but they are just they're really boasting about the success of the film slate here, and they also have announced a change here. They say later in the year we'll shift to reporting on hours viewed for our titles rather than the number of accounts that choose to watch them. So that's key because Netflix has faced some criticism for noting just when people have watched the first couple of minutes of a show or a movie. So now they're going to report hours viewed. So that's a big change there. And they say we'll start to release title metrics more regularly outside of our earnings reports so our members in the industry can better measure success in the streaming world. So notable shifts there, trying to have more transparency about what people are watching. Wilf, I'm going to continue to dig into this report, but we see Netflix shares up about 2%.
I love when they talk, Julia, also about the competition. They compete for time and attention, watching linear TV, reading a book, browsing TikTok, or playing Fortnite. But one example, and this is fascinating, on October 4th, when Facebook experienced a global outage for several hours, remember that? Our engagement saw a 14% increase during this time period, which is actually pretty amazing that they can track that competition between social media and Netflix. But there's a lot to like here, whether it's the global subscriber ads or the earnings guidance especially.